I'm Tom from Do It Yourself Home Automation, DIY-HA.com, and I'm going to go in and take a look here in Bidgely and use the fact that I was just on vacation to figure out what my baseline electrical usage is. And if you go away on vacation, it's a great time, if you have Bidgely, to be able to really drill down and see what your baseline usage is. Because if you're in your house and using electricity, you may go away for a little while or something like that, and that gives you a good sense of your baseline usage. But you probably still leave the heat on, or the cooling, or you may open your refrigerator and it's taking time to really cool it back down. There's a lot of things that you probably don't notice that can affect your baseline usage. So if you're away for a couple of days, it gives you a really awesome opportunity to see, if there's literally nothing going on in your house, exactly how much power you use. So I'm going to use the fact that I took a vacation for President's Day to go in here and drill down on my usage. So here I'm going to start out on my Bidgely dashboard, and here's my data for today. And I'm just going to step back one day, the day I was out of town. And at first it doesn't look like there's really too much very interesting here. I've spent 52 cents on power for the house. That makes sense. Again, wasn't there. But instead of looking at the electrical cost per hour here, I'm going to switch over to the actual usage. And here it gets a little bit more interesting. So you can see these periodic spikes in usage that seem to occur pretty regularly. And there's a really obvious explanation for that. That's the refrigerator cycling on and off. So even if you're not there, obviously, your food is heating up the inside of the refrigerator and you're going to need to cool it back down again. So we're seeing these really actually pretty nicely spaced out spikes over time, and that's happening no matter the time of day. Now interestingly, there's also these little sort of bumps before those spikes, and that would be something to try to investigate further. Not sure exactly what what's causing that. It could be the refrigerator as well, or it could be something else that's drawing a little bit of power when it cycles on periodically through the day. And you can see Bidgely is going to try to actually break down for me which aspects of my house are using how much power. But I'm not sure that this is strictly accurate. It seems like most of the power that's being used is actually these spikes for refrigeration. And I know that this isn't cooling or heating because I've completely switched off my heating system while I was away, which is really important. Don't just turn it all the way down. Of course, if you live in a cold climate, you want to leave it on a little bit. But for me, living in California, I just switched it completely off. So, here again, you can try to use their disambiguation data, but really it's better just to look yourself. And then the other thing that I see here is that, with nothing else going on, the refrigerator off and all of that, I'm drawing a baseline of about maybe 120 watts, so maybe 0.12 kilowatts, so 120 watts, which seems pretty high, and I'm not sure exactly what it is that's drawing that. So the next step would be to go around the house with something like a kilowatt meter, which is a little device you can plug in and test the power usage of individual appliances. Start plugging that in to see what it is that's actually drawing that power. And I don't have a home automation server or anything running, I'm just using a Raspberry Pi. So it's probably my entertainment system or something like that that I could safely shut off, especially going on vacation, to drop that real-time usage even lower when I'm there. And then the other aspect here is, again, I'm noticing these really regular spikes for refrigeration. One way to reduce the baseline usage even further would be to see if I could turn the temperature on my refrigerator up a bit higher, and that would presumably space these spikes out a little bit more, and the total amount of electricity that I would be using would then decrease for my baseline. So again, if I can take a look at this when I'm not there and literally nothing is happening in the house, figure out what I'm using power on and why, I can lower that baseline usage, which over time is going to save a lot of money because that's the power that's being used 24/7. So if I can reduce that, even by 50 watts or something like that, that's a serious efficiency increase taken out over an entire year.